against Boss from Vietnam, or if Boss will reign supreme, taking JOKOSAV out with a very unfortunate run for them.
Starting it off, though, they do get the first pick. Lucas already going down here. A nice way to get things started. Interesting gun choice as well coming out from XFP, one of the few players we've seen using that SG552 here. So an interesting decision to bring that out. It's not a gun you'll see too often here at CFS, but we'll see if it makes the difference that they need to adjust here and potentially take this opening round. On the other side of things, though, we do see Rita as one of the few players who actually uses the M4 as well. So some unique gun choices coming out from both of these teams, but right now we do see JOKOSAV with the early advantage here. We'll see if it's enough to grab them at least a first round here, and it would be their first of CFS as well, so hopefully they can start off on a high note here and maybe get a little bit of momentum on their side. Meanwhile, Boss, though, playing this first round very passive, and they've actually completely given up the A-bomb site.
This is going to let JOKOSAV maybe start to work their way towards it, but the problem is they're heading in the complete opposite direction right now. They're going to be taking themselves well over towards the B site. It's JOKOSAV that strike first, though. It's XFP finding that second frag onto Kale and bringing the guys on Boss down to 3 here now.
Right now, Boss, they're going to be trying to rotate in towards this B-bomb site. They have a lot of players in this position, but XFP going to find the second here in mid, and just like that, JSV looking at a good opening round here. Shady, the only one left alive. He'll go down. They only lose one player, and we see a completely new confidence arise in this roster now, grabbing their first round of the map and of CFS. Definitely looks like some adjustments have been made properly so far.
And obviously going to be rallying a lot of hype behind that first one round. Got to keep the spirits high considering how things went for them yesterday, and winning your first initial round on your next map is certainly going to be a good way to get off to a start. For Boss, though, they're going to be looking for immediate responses in their own regard. We'll have to see if they'll be able to do it. Still, the same spread. 1 player playing into the A site, 2 focusing more towards mid, and 2 more playing directly into B.
Right now, Boss going to be put in a difficult position here. They're only going to have 1 player over towards A as well. It's just going to be Lucas there sniping on the top, waiting for someone to potentially peek out A long and challenge him from this position. We do see a potential candidate for that here, and EV9 potentially to go out A long and challenge him. Right now, we do see JSV playing much more passive this time around, not going for early control over towards B or towards mid. And it is going to be Boss playing equally respectful here. They got a little over-aggressive in the first round, and it came back to bite them. So right now, Boss finally showing a little bit of respect and playing a little bit more reserved now.
So, with JOKOSAV struggling to find impact early on, unlike the first round, we are going to see them still gravitate primarily towards mid and the B connector in order to try and get some pressure onto Boss. But it's not worked out so far. Boss is continuing to play back. They do, however, finally connect a little bit of damage on Ali, bringing him down incredibly low to about 10 to 15 HP. The minute left, though, JOKOSAV are going to be forced to make a move relatively soon. And that could spell bad news for them. Lucas striking first, and most importantly, dropping the C4 as it goes out first. If anyone attempts to retrieve that, Lucas now in a wide swung position. He doesn't realize, though, one of the members of JOKOSAV is stuck up in front of him. Ali tries to hold, but it's XFP leaping into the fray. That's able to pick up another frag against him. One more is also found by XFP before we end up seeing one member of JOKOSAV getting eliminated by Kale to bring this into a 3 versus 3 now. Less than 30 seconds to get the plant onto the ground.
Right now, we do see JSV in a position again to win another round. 2v3 situation, but right now, Shady and Kale have a huge HP advantage for the retake. But Shady goes down, and it's Kale left in a 1v2. XFP and EV9 both very, very low in this situation, but the wide peak comes out. Kale snags one. Now it's down to the 1v1 here. JSV hoping that they can hold on to this post plan here, but Kale with a slight HP advantage here, but it's not going to matter. JSV started off with a 2-0 lead, and maybe we underestimated these guys because they are looking very confident to start off their second showing here.
And with JOKOSAV having that confident start to their matchup, it's only things that can go up for them as Boss, unfortunately, really struggling to keep hold of that B site early on in the map as they continue to lose players left and right on executing. JOKOSAV as well, really stressing the timer, bringing it down incredibly low, but regardless, able to make impact to get themselves into the site.
We do see Boss playing a little bit more forward in this round, but look at this positioning. Baron almost able to get some shots to land onto Kaylee there through the door. We'll see if it can pan out for them, though. Just throwing down some spam. Meanwhile, we do have Ali here in the tunnels as well, hoping that someone makes the mistake of pushing through. But again, JSV playing this one very reserved and trying to get the opening pick advantage. But so far, their blacklist executions have looked pretty clean across the board. We'll see if they can keep that up, though, moving forward. No full adjustments coming out really from the side of Boss just yet. Playing very reserved here, still playing their sort of standard setup, 2 mid, 2 B, and that's Solo and Lucas playing with the AWM on A top. So it's going to be a tough round ahead here for the guys on Boss. Not having a whole lot of success so far, but there's definitely a lot of time left for a recovery here. JSV, though, a much more confident start than expected.
And with that going their way, it certainly changed the expectations for this matchup. But once again, it's going to be slow played from them as we have the majority of Boss continuing to hold from the inside of the house, waiting for the push to come out from JOKOSAV onto that B site once again, and they will be going for it. It's Rita along with Ali that start things off well for Boss this time. Ali going to continue to frag. Got a double kill for him, a double kill for Rita also, as it's all brought down to Zada now for JOKOSAV. It seems like Boss have finally kickstarted themselves into this matchup, and Zada will be picked off at mid. Then the round and finally put Boss onto the board.
And that's really what Boss needed there. 2 very shaky rounds to start, but finally the third looks nice and clean for them. And this is more of what we were expecting here from Boss in this matchup. Not as one-sided as we first thought here, but still, JSV still has a lot to prove in this matchup. They really want to close it out and move themselves one step further to getting out of this group. Right now, we do see Boss once again collapsing on this B-bomb site take, and it's not looking too good, but just as I say that, it is going to be Zeta and Drones cleaning things up nicely and actually making this a 2v1 in their favor. Lucas, the last one alive to try and recover this one for Boss, but again, things are surely going against them in this situation, and still, with control of the C4, they now have the comfortability to rotate exactly how they'd like to in this situation. Lucas, though, trying to hunt them down one by one, but he's kind of trapped here in the lower B tunnels, waiting for someone to come out and peek him. But JSV, they're going to be playing this one patient here, waiting to see if they can catch this remaining player of Boss off guard. And they're just going to be sitting in the back of the B tunnels over towards their spawn. They've been playing extremely patient here, but it may be just what they need here to actually close this one out in their favor. And again, we may see Lucas run right into trouble, and the patience pays off in their favor once again. JSV take the lead 3-1 now. And this is looking a little bit scary for Boss now.
It's a much different JOKOSAV compared to what we saw yesterday. That's certainly for sure. And it's a banging start for them on their blacklist side. This time we are going to see them move up relatively quick. They'll take the bridge over towards A long. And it's looking like we are going to see some heavy play towards that A site this time. Or at minimum, definitely going to be seeing some contention at mid, postured up by JOKOSAV. They tend to take the early advantage in these rounds.
This is really a tough situation for Boss to be in. Normally, Port tends to be a map that leans in favor of the defense as well. So really, a 3-1 start is incredibly impactful here for the side of JSV. So we'll see if that pays off moving forward. But Boss, still ample time to respond here and make a good half out of this for themselves to try and close it out. Potentially 6-3 if they can crank the heat up now. But right now, Boss hasn't had a whole lot of success in holding off these executions. JSV playing the timer, running it down, making these guys impatient on the side of Boss and forcing peaks to go their way. And I definitely like this approach from JSV, not trying to just raw aim duel and push right in, but instead waiting for these guys to make the mistake of peeking out on them.
Well, it's JOKOSAV to continue playing slowly as the time continues to tick down, with very minimal impact found by either side at this point. It is going to be players like XFP and the others that will start to move in towards the house and eventually get themselves into the B site. They can manage to work their way through the connector first, of course. Out they're going to move inside of the house for them. Boss is nowhere to be seen this time. They held heavy contention on the previous round. A 1-for-1 exchange to start off the pushes. Now they are going to contest over towards the B site yet again. Brings us into a 4 versus 4. Drone's looking for his own pick, but he can't spot a whole lot right now. He's been flashed out. Messy spray from Rita, but it gets the job done. However, it is going to leave him exposed to a trade. Same can be said for Kale, though, as he is able to move in and knock out XFP before Baron also finds one on his own. It's down to a 1v1 as we go the distance yet again. And Kale, from the side of Boss, will close out, as we do see them bringing it back now, 3-2.
And that's exactly what Boss was looking for here. They really wanted a chance to swing back into this one quickly, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Now 1 round away from bringing us to a tie. JSV, though, they had that one narrowed down to a 2-on-1 advantage, but unfortunately made the mistake of taking individual aim duels there and falling short in the process. Right now, though, Boss looking for the tie here. Lucas The one lacking a little bit for Boss has only found one pick here from the top of A. But to be fair, they haven't really gone in his direction other than one quick A push early on in the half. So maybe this time around we will see the boys of JSV go back over towards this A position. There's only really been one player on it for Boss as well, so it would be a decent chance for them to exploit the positioning here from Boss, who have been very reliant on their stacks here over towards the B bomb site. Once again, playing 3 in B tunnels, really making sure they can pinch off this choke point if the push does come through the B tunnels.
Well, it is going to be JOKOSAV trying to once again find their initial entry point here. It's not going to be too easy though, because at the moment, Kale and Ali from Boss have been shutting this down. It's Drones that finally gets JOKOSAV onto the board first off, and EV9 also finds his own pickup. Shady will find a response via grenade as well. We've got grenade kills coming out all over the place right here. But ultimately, Lucas moves in to try and shut down JOKOSAV. It's down to only one. EV9 will fall as Ali gets the last kill, and Boss pick up another frag yet again.
Definitely a great performance coming out from Boss in that round, which will quickly tie this one 3-3, and now Boss has a chance to take the lead here as well. Kind of what we were expecting much earlier on, but a nice performance and turnaround from JSV so far. Even score 3-3, and now Boss look to establish some dominance of their own here.
And now, as we continue to push forward, it is looking like, once again, JOKOSAV want to try to pressure over towards the A site, but nothing really definitive, unfortunately, just yet, as we've seen them lean into both sites pretty accurately for the majority of all 6 rounds that have been played out so far on JOKOSAV's attacking side. It is going to continue to wind down the timer, however, as they look for any options that they might be able to get. And actually, it looks like it's a dead round as we've gone to the game. So, quick tech issue. Thankfully, no damage taken by either team, so we should have no problem resetting it.
Yeah, it looks like one of the players from Boss, I believe, disconnected there, so we'll go ahead and get that reset. But let's talk about how this is playing out so far. I mean, I didn't think 6 rounds in we would be seeing a tied game here, 3-3. I mean, you can see the confidence here in this team that we didn't really see in their matchup against Rue Legends earlier on, and I'm actually excited to see if they actually have the chance of taking this one away. Obviously, Boss, they've started to step up here, but I've seen some pretty strong performance out of these guys on JSV that I wasn't expecting, and I think sort of the choice to bring out that SG552, that's been sort of a nice curveball thrown at Boss that they haven't really had a good answer for just yet.
Now, what exactly, again, because I've come to this, what is the SG going to be adding to the team that we normally wouldn't see with like the AK or the M4?
So the main difference you'll see is while it doesn't necessarily do as much damage as the AK, you've got a little bit faster firing rate on it. So if you're bursting around corners, it can really catch these players off guard and take them out quickly before they have that chance to react. And I don't think Boss has had an answer for those mid plays coming out from that weaponry just yet. And if they have a way to deal with it, though, there could be some shutdown frags starting to come their way. But Boss, they have done a great job of adapting in these past 2 rounds, making sure they don't overcommit or over-aggress, and I think that was a lot of the issues we saw early on. They just didn't give these guys the respect, and so all JSV had to do was sit back and hold it and wait for these players to push in. But now that Boss is playing a bit more reserved, it's going to come down to the execution power here from the guys of JSV.
Well, JSV are still looking to battle their way back into this. We're looking to battle our way back into the match in just a second. As soon as we resolve the disconnect, should only take a second, guys. If you are just joining us, this is our 3rd match of the day. We've already had 2 upper bracket matches to play off in relatively fantastic fashion, being some more of our teams pushed through, including another one of the Chinese teams. Well, the Chinese teams actually moving their way forward in their respective groups, and claiming 3 out of the 4 high seed positions in the quarterfinals, which will be starting tomorrow, including the semifinals. Those will also be played out tomorrow here in the studio.
And right now, the winner of this is going to be facing off against Rue Legends. And considering how close this has been, you have to sort of wonder how Rue Legends is feeling about this. I mean, obviously, they had that 10-0 win against JSV earlier on, but maybe they're either thinking Boss is weak or JSV's improved at this point. Do you think it may be that Boss is a weak team now to Rue Legends, or do you see it more as JSV improving in this situation?
I personally think we're looking at JSV improving more, considering the way that we've seen them play out so far. It definitely seems like they've improved their executes a little bit more, and they're not getting drained out as quickly as we saw in some of the previous matches. So we'll have to see if that continues to hold true, but at the moment, Boss, with them continuing to sit back and play a little bit more passively, seems to have been the solution for them, at least in this current point. For JOKOSAV, though, they are back into the matchup now. So let's take a look and see if they are going to be able to find a route into the site a little bit easier than we've seen in some past rounds.
And now we are going to see them playing to run down the clock seemingly once again here. Nice spam coming through the wall here, but this time Boss has no one playing in the backside of mid behind that bridge wall. So there's really no opportunity for a spam pick to come through for the side of JSV. A very reserved team of Boss now, just hoping that they'll push through. And really this puts a lot more pressure onto JSV, and I think when they got that early start, that's exactly what Boss needed to do here and make them feel the pressure instead of forcing themselves into uncomfortable situations by peaking a bit too early. So really now it's on JSV to make the impact on their execution here and find the openings themselves and really make this into a game of their own. We do see their XFP once again looking to be the person to open up the round here for his team, taking that SG into a connector here, but they do need to be careful. Lucas playing closely nearby, going to be playing in the little alcove towards the bridge here, so XFP has to be careful, could quickly run into a situation where he gets traded down here if he goes for this fight out of AC.
Time's getting incredibly low for JOKOSAV, though. If they're going to go for A, we need to see them commit to the push at long, get themselves out of the bridge. So they're going to go into long to start things off for them. It's XFP jumping into the fray first off, but he immediately falls down to Lucas. Lucas will be hungry for more here, too. Now late Boston is going to be patiently waiting as the runaround comes towards the ladder. He's already spotted this big stack, but he dives in a little bit too early. He's able to net himself a double kill before ending up going down to drones. So the impact has been found, and it's certainly a worthy trade. Down to only 2 players remaining here for JOKOSAV, but they're making the difference here. Zada is able to find one in his zone, as is drones, but ultimately Gale will knock him out, and we will see a double kill picked up by him at the end to close it down for Boss as they find their 4th round.
And this is where we need to see what JSV can do when things start to go against them. As we saw against Root Legends, they didn't have the ability to adjust when was necessary. And I think that can make the difference here if they know how to adapt and move themselves forward. If they continue to play the same passive setup, Boss has countered it quite well now. So I think we do need to see some raw aggression starting to come out from JSV to counter these overly passive positions that Boss is starting to utilize. And it looks like they are going to take that node here and maybe move a little bit more forward towards A earlier on in the round here, but still, you can tell they're a bit nervous to go for these peaks out of mid and A, and this is where they need to grab that confidence and hold on to it here if they really want to take down a team like Boss, who's starting to step it up on their defense.
With Boss now having woken up and pushed ahead of JOKOSAV, who obviously got the early advantage here. It's going to be up to JOKOSAV to make the difference. Similar route taken by them. They work their way up over towards A connector, and they're going to try to push themselves over towards the site by heading over the pipes.
Lucas in a great position to try and stall it, but misses the shot on the cross pick. And now it is going to be JSV with a chance to control this A bomb site. All of their players storming in. And Boss, they're going to be forced into a retake position. I'm not sure. Boss shooting at their teammates for a split second there. Not sure why they were going for that one. But now JSV has full control here, and they will take a pick there onto Ali as well. Things looking better and better for them to bring this one to a tie. Now it's all about the retake here. Boss already collapsing in from all angles, though. But it's going to be Drones who picks up the double kill. XFP finds another one, but Shady's still alive, looking for a potential ace clutch opportunity here. Finds 2 of his own, but still needs 3 more to make this one a reality. Drones, though, going to be spotted. That's already 2 on the board. Shady, surely not here. Down to 2 players left. Not going to happen, though. XFP steps it up. And just like that, we're tied up once again as we go into the final round here of our first half. It is going to be 4-4.
Even if we ended up seeing him find those 2 kills, unfortunately, he'd run himself far too low on the clock there. Palm was very, very close to exploding. I think we were right around 10 seconds when the last man alive for Boss finally ends up going down. So it was a strong hold regardless for JOKOSAV, and probably would have had the win anyway. 4-4 as the teams continue to go back and forth now. Unfortunately, a strong lead for JOKOSAV. Boss finding their way back into it. The problem is they can't seem to cut ahead now as JOKOSAV keep fighting back to trade out these rounds.
Boss definitely needing to make a few more adjustments here. I'm not sure why they decided to give up that A bomb site so quickly in the previous round. They really had a chance to try and hold it off, but instead they played for the full retake and they paid the price there, falling in the round. And now we do see a pretty big opportunity for the Indonesian boys to take this one away and take the half. Surprisingly so, I'm sure to everyone watching, expecting Boss to come out with a strong performance, but right now it has been JSV leading the charge here and having solid executions across the board, and they're going to be going back to their bread and butter execution here over towards B. That did help them quite a bit earlier on in this matchup, grab those early rounds where they did lead 3-1 at one point in this match. So we'll see if they can pull it back here and take the final round of the half, and it's going to be up to Boss to try and hold this one off. But right now, Shady, the only one really left to try and make an impact. A nice flashbang comes out, though. Rita finds one onto EV9, and now it's going to be Boss in control of this one. Shady finds himself a frag as well. things are slowly falling apart on the B-bomb site, and Lucas and Shady do a great job there of cleaning things up, and Boss still somehow manage to pull off the half 5-4.
And so, once again, teams go back and forth at the end of the day, though, as you mentioned. Boss do come out ahead, just barely, though. JOKOSAV immediately showing up with an incredibly strong performance compared to their game versus Root Legends yesterday. Meanwhile, it's Boss seemingly lagging behind here now, comparatively to their own performance that they had in the opening match versus Carbon. Certainly differences for both teams here, but the big story is JOKOSAV, who have had a meteoric rise after their unfortunate defeat yesterday.
I guess right now it's going to be just the battle of who's going to face Root Legends, and I guess looking at either one of these teams, do you think either one has a chance here against Root Legends? I mean, we saw Root Legends with a strong performance against JSV, but let's say they've improved now. Do you think there's a chance for either one to actually pull out and win that?
It's going to be tough, to say the least, because even in Root Legends' game against Carbon, right, where they end up falling, it was still an incredibly close matchup between those two teams, and Root Legends still looked incredibly confident. Either team could have taken that match that we had at the end of yesterday, so it's going to be really tough to predict if either of these teams will be able to successfully get past Root Legends, considering the fact that both teams are now struggling in this matchup as well.
Right now, we look to JSV to see if they can potentially win the map and pull off the upset here, but Boss, they made the adjustments later on in that first half to pull through and still take back the half here. And they are going to be leading 5-4 as we go into the second half, but Boss, they don't seem too confident after that one. Surely they were expecting a much better scoreline, and maybe it could just be a situation where they did underestimate these guys going into the match after seeing how badly they did lose to Root Legends in day one, and that's really what can cause a lot of issues. In a best of one, if you underestimate a team going in, you can really put a lot of extra pressure on yourselves by already starting off on the wrong foot.
And that did seem to be the case, right? When you look at the first couple of rounds, the way it played out with Boss being incredibly aggressive, trying to go out and take constant fights versus JOKOSAV on their defensive half, unfortunately led to them losing quite a few of the opening rounds and really gave JOKOSAV a boost to get themselves into this game to begin with. But regardless, Boss now does have the edge as we've switched sides, and Boss will move on to their attacking side, on their blacklist side. JOKOSAV, in the meanwhile, take on the global risk, and we'll have to see if they can run up to 10 on defense.
And here we have it. It is going to be Boss looking to potentially attack the B-bomb side here in their opening round, but they have a nice fake going through as well because the bomb is going to be grabbed slowly and rotates over here as well, but they have Rita alone trying to sell this fake over towards the A-bomb side from the top of the A connector here, but he's already taken about half HP worth of damage, so they need to be careful that they don't lose him too quickly and give away his fake, but it looks like Boss, they may have a chance after all here to run in, but JSV, they've read this quite well. They've got 3 players in position to try and stop this, but Shady, big headshot to get things started here over toward the B-bomb site, takes down drones immediately, and this is the opening that they were hoping for. Boss looking to hold on to this lead, and here we have Kale pushing out of mid as well. He has control of spawn. They have no idea, but XFP peeks at the perfect moment to save them from sheer destruction here. Lucas quickly slides in to grab the trade, make it a double kill, and things still start to fall apart here for JSV on the defense. Nice shot there, though, from Zeta here. Quickly followed up from Rita. Now down to a 1-on-3 for EV9, but the bomb has an opening towards A, and they know it here on the side of Boss. It's going to leave EV9 in a tough situation, but the pre-fire comes through already as he rounds the corner, and now Boss is looking more and more like the team to take this one away.
Yeah, definitely took them a while to get themselves into the matchup, but they seem to be shifting to control, and the strong start that we've seen now on their blacklist side is only going to further push that point forward. JOKOSAV, in the meanwhile, unfortunately, memories, I'm sure, surfacing in the back of their mind of the unfortunate loss yesterday. They cannot let that affect them, though. They have to keep pushing forward and rally back together. Otherwise, we'll see Boss be the team to move forward here, and JOKOSAV left to go. Either way, though, JOKOSAV have certainly made an impressive return comparatively to what we saw in their game versus Root Legends, and it now begs the question as to whether Boss have really fallen off and what that could potentially mean if they end up, of course, following through with the rest of these rounds to take this map, and then have to go on to face Root Legends later on today.
Definitely a tough match for either team to go up against Root Legends, who showed a lot of strength so far in the group stage, only falling to Carbon 8-10 after a 10-0 victory here over JSV. So a huge threat moving forward for either team, but Lucas looking to try and push Boss one step further here. They find the opening pick. 5v4. Shady, though, taking a lot of damage here over towards the B-bomb site. JSV trying to find a pick of their own here. Still not a whole lot of luck, but look at EV9 in this position, playing just outside of the barn here on top of it, but a team nade comes through. Unfortunate mistakes were made here. Drones nades down Baron, finishing him off. Fortunately, though, Baron's still able to pick up that kill before going down, but now JSV goes back to a numbers down situation. due to that unfortunate team nade.
So JOKOSAV fall behind and fall lower and lower onto the clock here as well, with Boss taking good strides to be able to hold on in this matchup. But the problem for Boss, they haven't been able to necessarily push towards and get the C4 onto the ground. That's going to be changing, though, relatively quickly over the next couple of seconds. They seem to have decent control over the A site now, and it's only a matter of seconds before we should see their C4 getting planted. In fact, it's gone down just now. That will start the timer ticking in the favor of Boss, and JOKOSAV need to go for the rotate.
Lucas, though, in such a key position here, finds the opening, takes down drones, and starts to shut down the retake. EV9, though, from A-Long finds himself one, but he's all alone now as Lucas takes down another. It's going to be Zeta going down. Ali finds the spot here, but EV9 escapes with just 5 HP and a headshot here, but still 2 more players to work his way through with 5 HP. It's just not going to happen. Lucas finds himself a 3rd kill on the round, and just like that, Boss continues to drive forward towards the finish here and is looking even more confident as they move forward.
Boss pick it up again, as you said, continuing to push forward here. A very, very slow run-out round, but eventually able to find some crucial picks against JOKOSAV, open up the A site. Once that plants down, unfortunately, they didn't really leave much room of a retake whatsoever here for JOKOSAV.
Rita, though, looking for the early opening in mid. Hasn't had a whole lot of luck so far. We'll see if they can find one, though. Boss definitely utilizing Lucas, though, quite well to find their entry frags. He had 3 in the previous round, just opening up mid completely and catching those rotators off guard, sitting at 6-1, just 2 rounds into the second half. Definitely leading the charge here for Boss to move forward towards a victory. But right now, JSV, there's still time for them to adapt and hold on to this match. It's not over just yet, Boss. They've shown a decent amount of weakness as well in this matchup, so JSV just needs to start exploiting that once again, as we saw from them in the first half here. But right now, they just haven't shown the ability to lock down and hold control over these bomb sites. And that's the change that really needs to happen if they want a chance back into this one. And it's their tournament life on the line as well. And Boss, they're just 3 rounds away from our first knockout.
Boss will have the honor to be able to do that, but they need to still close out. More importantly, get past this defensive setup from JOKOSAV. It's a good start for them as they throw a lot of their pressure towards mid. Nair themselves with the first kill, knocking out Zada early on in the round here. For the rest of Boss, though, still slow play. We've got Shady with a good position inside of the house. Of course, he has some contested coming in from down on the first floor, so he does have to be a little bit careful about that. It's all coming from EV9, just one single player, though. The rest of the hold is coming from guys that are a little bit deeper into the sites. Would only really contest on the push-out should we see it. Speaking of which, we need to see that happen relatively soon here from Boss. They're still lurking primarily around over towards the connector. They don't have a good route to get themselves into the actual site just yet, and they need to find that soon. Otherwise, this is going to be an easy closeout from JOKOSAV due to a rushed execute that will have to happen from Boss.
And Boss, they feel that pressure. They're going to go ahead and move their way in towards the B bomb site. Drones, though, the only one really to try and stall this push. They've got a rotator in now as well. They're trying to get EV9 over there quickly, but so far it's not looking too good for the boys on JSV. They lose drones immediately. No kills going his way either, and it's already a 5-on-3 for the post plan as the bomb goes down. XFP finds one, but it's not going to be enough here. The double kill comes out from Shady, and it's all on Baron now in a 1-on-4. Baron, though, finds the first, but it's immediately traded there from Kale, and it's going to be 8-4.
Boss really in control of this matchup now, as unfortunately JOKOSAV have gone back into those more reclusive states that we were seeing yesterday and really have fallen off a cliff when it comes to being able to win any sorts of impactful duels here. The round, 2 rounds back, Boss kind of walked themselves directly onto A and found an easy plant there, but they have to fight for it this time on B. It doesn't seem to matter, though. JOKOSAV can't seem to hold in any sense, and Boss just ripped right through them.
This time around, though, we are going to see JSV playing a bit more forward here than they usually do. Maybe this change of pace could come back in their favor, but they need it now because it's 8-4, 2 rounds away from Boss taking this victory here and knocking them out. It's the first team to be eliminated here from CFS 2018, so we'll see what they have in store to try and prevent that from happening. But right now, JSV, they do have a lot of forward aggression here, and Boss, they're definitely unsure of where they want to take this bomb just yet. It's actually alone over towards this B bomb site. Lucas, though, he's going to be slightly there now by supporting him, but still a tough situation here. JSV having a lot of map control, but still, they've got to connect on these shots here. Drones, though, completely blinded. Shady takes him down, and it's Boss in a good position once again. 5v4, and it looks like they want to push their way over towards the B bomb site. It's going to be Shady finding himself another one. Rita takes down Zeta as well. XFP and Baron now left in a 2-on-4 situation, but Baron, he's isolated in the back of spawn. Shady and Kale push in, and it's going to be a 9-4 lead now. Boss moves to match point and looks ready to take this one.
Same exact outcome, unfortunately. Again, it's Boss just dominating the gunfights on entry, and JOKOSAV can't seem to hold. And that seems like it might be a sending home note for JOKOSAV. However, we say that, but Baron gets himself off to a good start. On top of the Global Risk Bridge, he finds himself a nice opening frag against Rita to maybe, just maybe, give his team the advantage they need to rally back into this game and not fall at what would be a 10-4 final score.
JSV, though, hoping they can grab at least another round before it's all said and done. They would need 5 in a row, though, to somehow make this one go into overtime. Not a likely scenario to go their way, but maybe, just maybe, they can do it here. And they've shown at least a little bit of good signs here throughout this matchup. And Drones, he starts it off, finds himself one. Not going to be enough, though, to stall this push completely. BB9, though, completely decimated on the push. Boss looking to take this here, and now down to a 2-on-3, though. Baron finds himself another pick on the round, and it's still winnable just yet. Kale finds one, traded out, though, by Zeta. Now down to the 1v1 XFP versus Lucas, but a flank comes through, a chance to take the round, but Lucas, he gets the headshot anyways. It's going to be Boss taking this one 10-4, and that's going to be JSV, the first team down and out here at CFS 2018.
So close. We're looking at that last player on Boss at less than 10 HP as